name is Encouraged by. Haven't you heard about Focal Online TV?
You say Focal Online TV?
Focal Online TV is located within a Topo village community along the Japanese highway.
Tell me more about the platform.
This platform, called Focal Online TV Daily Edition of Inside the Print Media, does not encourage any form of dialogue between the viewers and the presenters.
Oh, you mean nobody calling there?
No, you can't call on a show. Let me talking out like with no calling there. So all you can do is you will listen to the news, and they can also encourage you to buy the newspaper to listen to the news in details.
But do you do viewer recognition at times?
Oh yes, we do viewer recognition. When you are watching, we notify you, and sometimes we even appreciate you on a show, telling you thank you for always following us. We also encourage you to share the live stream, because the more you share the live stream, we transform and we transition ourselves as a broadcast team as well.
Wow. So when can I better get this program you are talking about?
This program is aired every Monday to Friday at 10 a.m. to 10:45. The program runs for 45 minutes.
Wow.
And guess what?
What?
We bring you hot stories of our trending situation.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching us from. Welcome to Focal Online TV, where we bring you the daily edition of Inside the Print Media. This morning, we're going to be informing you about the happenings within our country, Liberia, because that's what we do here on the daily edition of Inside the Print Media. Remember, this is Focal Online TV. This is where we bring innovation to broadcasting. So if you are watching us from the diaspora, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. If you are watching us from in our mother's land, Liberia, a pleasant good morning to you. And thank God it's Friday. Today is September 15, 2023. And this show is being run from 10 a.m. to 10:45 a.m. So stay with me as I am your presenter here on the daily edition of Inside the Print Media. And my name is Greg Courage Park. So for today, let's look at our revision of newspapers. We have in studio various newspapers of our country. So let's look at the daily revision of our newspaper here. We have the Daily Observer newspaper. We have the New Down newspaper. We have the Independent Pope newspaper. We have the Front Page Africa newspaper along with the Hot Pepper newspaper. But for today, we are not bringing to you the Independent Pope newspaper. Instead, we are bringing to you the Hot Pepper newspaper. So for our collections today, we have the Daily Observer, we have Front Page Africa, we have Hot Pepper, and the New Down newspaper. Moving onward, we have our international news, and our source for today is BBC. So stay with me, please, as I'll be right back shortly to fill you in on all of the happenings under the Daily Observer newspaper. But before I leave you, let's look at our headlines under the Daily Observer newspaper and the different types of newspapers we have in studio. The first headline under the Daily Observer newspaper: Police identify culprits in airport drug bust. Police identify culprits in airport drug bust. Another headline under the Daily Observer newspaper reads: Cummins Africa Foundation awards 24 scholarships. Cummins Africa Foundation awards 24 scholarships. We move to another aspect of our news, that is the New Down newspaper. Another headline reads: We are off to New York. President Weah is off to New York. That is one of the headlines under the New Down newspaper. We have prosecution witness provide incoherent testimony in the murder trial of former Chief Justice Laura Scott. Prosecution witness provide incoherent testimony in the murder trial of former Chief Justice Laura Musu Scott. We now move quickly to the Front Page Africa headlines. We have Don Bosco demands release of 63 prisoners. Don Bosco demands release of 63 prisoners. And then the last headline under the Front Page Africa newspaper: American arrested after reportedly attempting to slit girlfriend's throat with knife. American arrested after reportedly attempting to slit girlfriend's throat at night with knife. Sorry. And then the hot pepper newspaper is so interesting this morning. In RIA drug importation, Saka Wia's chief of protocol suffers character assassination as manifest display show Finabondo not Finabondo. So this is how we run quickly as we take this short break. When we get back, we begin with our first newspaper. That is the Daily Observer newspaper. And we will be talking about the top stories under the Daily Observer newspaper as it relates to the identification of corporates in the airport drug bust. And then we transition later on to the different types of newspaper. While you are watching, I encourage you to please share our live stream. Encourage others to join us here as we bring innovation right to you. Remember, here on Focal Online TV, especially the daily edition of Inside the Print Media, all we do is we bring innovation to broadcasting and we bring our top stories relating to our country, Liberia. In order to be well informed of all of the happenings, you have to get yourself a newspaper that is being sold at a minimum rate of 40 Liberian dollars and the maximum is 50 Liberian dollars. Also, being it, you can join us here every Monday to Friday at 10 a.m. as we bring innovation to broadcasting through our news reading with Inside the Print Media and me being your presenter. Thanks for watching. I will be right back shortly, just a 5 minutes break, and right after, I'll fill you in on all of the happenings within our country Liberia. I love you and thank God it's Friday.
Hello, dear. My name is K. Lyndon Toba. I'm in search of a platform where I can get credible information of our daily happenings in Liberia.
Focal TV. Bringing you innovation to broadcasting, news, views, comments, and analysis of issues happening in Liberia and the rest of the world. Focal TV. With check and balance, we break it as it unfolds. Focal TV. Bringing you face to face with newsmakers in town. Focal TV. The best online platform in broadcasting. Focal TV, located at Topo Village, Somalia Drive, Liberia. Be the part and experience the best in online broadcasting. Keep focal.
So, welcome back, folks. Welcome back to the daily edition of Inside Your Print Media with your presenter, Greg Coach Par. And like I said, we will commence with the Daily Observer newspaper and then we end with our international news. So, for today, the first headline under the Daily Observer newspaper reads Police identify culprits in airport drug bust. Police identify culprits in airport drug bust. The news in details. The disclosure comes just as the customs office of the LRA at the airport was broken into earlier yesterday. The Liberia National Police, that is the LNP, and another state security agency have officially identified two prime suspects believed to be at the heart of the illicit methamphetamine drug bust at the Rabat International Airport. The two suspects, according to the police and the Liberian Drug Enforcement Agency, are Samuel Freeman and Sam Sion, not the NSA Deputy Director. Please, it's not the NSA Deputy Director. The duo are believed to have played key roles in the attempt to smuggle a substantial quantity of the illicit drug methamphetamine through the country Busset's International Airport. Freeman, who is the suspended director of security at the airport, has denied that the contents of the confiscated boxes, which he had attempted to smuggle from the tarmac through an unauthorized gate, were not drugs, as the government wants people to believe. The denial on Monday came just as customs officials from the Revenue Authority of Liberia, in the presence of joint security, had inspected the boxes and claimed that the contents in them were moringa tea even though testing was needed to confirm the conclusion. The Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency, which has now joined the police to name Freeman as a prime suspect, says test results show illicit methamphetamine, a highly addictive drug. Freeman, who has reportedly linked the ownership of the boxes to President George Weah, chief of protocol, Nora Bono, alleged partner in crime, is Sam Sion, not the NSA deputy director. Sion, whose whereabouts, like Freeman's, are unknown, works as a cargo officer at the Jules Travel, which is a general sales agent for Kenya Airways tickets in Liberia. The latest development is a significant step in the ongoing investigation into the drug smuggling operation that has raised concerns about airport security and drug trafficking in the country. The state declaration of both men as suspects in the airport drug saga comes just as the custom office of the Liberia Revenue Authority at the airport has been burglarized. The burglary comes just as the government admits for the first time that the 10 boxes confiscated from Freeman contained highly addictive illegal meth drugs, contrary to their initial claims of containing moringa leaves. It is, however, unclear whether, at the time of burglary, the confiscated boxes were still within the premises of the RIA or had been relocated elsewhere as part of the ongoing investigation. According to Dagnisha Simwe, the communication manager of the RIA, the burglary may have happened during the early hours of yesterday as the alleged perpetrator gained unauthorized access to the custom office in its examination hall. There was a burglary at the Liberia Revenue Authority's custom office at the RIA Singwe said. Our office in examination hall were broken into and the suspect Joe Guerrero has been arrested and handed over to the police. Guerrero is a staff member of Elite Facility, a janitorial company contracted by the LRA for cleaning service. It appears that Guerrero arrived at work early and entered the city to steal goods from the examination hall. Currently, no missing items have been reported as the police continue their investigation, he added. The news this morning is very interesting. I encourage you to get yourself a newspaper, or better still, continue to share our live stream as we will be bringing these important information to you. So we now move over to another headline under the Daily Observer newspaper. Cummins Africa Foundation awards 24 scholarships. Cummins Africa Foundation awards 24 scholarships. The Cummins Africa Foundation (CAF), in continuation with its support of the education of Liberians, has awarded 24 fully funded scholarships to deserving students in the area of science, technology, engineering, math, and agriculture. The foundation's 2023 to 2024 scholarships recipients are poised to pursue territorial education in seven of Liberia higher learning institutions, including Cottington University, United Methodist University, Blue Crest University, Adventist University, Styles University, Smart Institute, and the Stella Maris Polytechnic University. This year's scholarships are being awarded to 14 males and 10 females. According to CAF, this program commenced in 2017 and has provided more than 100 scholarships to deserving students who enroll in college and university. Alexander B. Cummins, the co-founder of the Cummins Africa Foundation, said he believes that the scholarship recipients will make the foundation, Liberia, and themselves proud by studying and achieving their goals. Education, you will affect all of us. I am glad you are studying in the areas of science, technology, engineering, and math. I want you to take advantage of this opportunity and do your best, Cummins said. Cummins called on the scholarship recipient to always think of giving back to Liberia and Liberians after acquiring education and getting a job in the near future. Not only look after yourself, but look after your family members and other Liberians. We will support you, but as a people and country, we have to learn to follow the rules and do things the right way, he said. According to him, there is no shortcut to success. Rather, success comes from hard work and discipline. He urged them to remain focused and achieve their goals. The founder of Cummins Africa Foundation, Mrs. Teresa Cummins, said she believes that Liberia has the brightest, but they do not have the opportunity and the means. We have taken upon ourselves to create these means for you, our brightest and our best. So, beneficiaries here today, you are our brightest and our best. Mrs. Cummins told scholarship recipients in a jubilant mood. Over the years, she said the females have outnumbered the males, but the males have outnumbered the females for 2023 to 2024. I am looking forward to good things from our scholars, and particularly keeping their grades up as required by the foundation. It is a challenge to you to keep those grades up in order to remain on the scholarship. We will take care of all the finances, she said. This is how we move quickly to the New Down newspaper. Just to notify those who are watching us, I appreciate you joining us here this morning, being informed of all of the happenings within our country, Liberia. I want to say thank you to Conti Zanga. Thanks to you for joining us. Sam B. Flood Conan, I appreciate you so much for joining us this morning. Kindly make use of our comment section if you are watching, listening to all of the top stories being read out. You can just drop your comments in the comment section and it's going to be read for everyone to hear it, and it's going to be here too for everyone to see it. Okay, let's move, sorry, to the New Down newspaper. We are off to New York. That is one of the headlines on the New Down newspaper. The news in details. Amid ongoing campaigns for the 2023 elections, President George Weah is off to New York to attend the 78th United Nations General Assembly. President Weah and delegation left here Thursday, September 14, 2023, via the Roberts International Airport in Lower Margibby County to honor the annual Global Assembly, the last in his first term. Mr. Weah, who is seeking a second term amid huge criticism for his government's poor performance, ranging from insecurity and economic hardship to frequent importation of drugs, among others, faces 19 other candidates for the presidency. Despite mounting criticism from the opposition, Mr. Weah has been vigorously campaigning across the country, telling electorate that he's the most suited for the job, having already served nearly 6 years and wants a second term to leave behind while he has termed a lasting developmental legacy after his exit. President Weah, fresh from campaign trial in Bone County, Central Liberia, wasted no time in heading for the airport for New York. The 78th Onga is being held under the theme Rebuilding Trust and Reuniting Global Solidarity, accelerating action on the 2030 agenda and its sustainable development goals towards peace, prosperity, progress, and the sustainability for all. President Weah is expected to address the General Assembly on Wednesday, September 20, to make a case for Liberia involving democratic process. He is also expected to have sidelines discussion with strategic bilateral partners in the interest of the people of Liberia. While the president is away, the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs, G. Wisa Blamo, will chair the cabinet in close consultation with the Vice President Joel Howard Taylor. President Weah is expected to return home on September 28th at the conclusion of campaigning activities. This is how we move over to another headline under the New Down newspaper. It seems to be the last headline under the New Down newspaper. And the headline reads, Prosecution witness provide incoherent testimonies in the murder trial of former Chief Justice Gloria Mususka. This story has been trending on all of the news sites, so we encourage you to pay more attention to this story, and in order to get full details for you to be able to talk when it's needed for you to talk. Prosecution witness in the murder trial of ex-Chief Justice Laura Musu Scott and others have provided contradicting testimonies here when they took the witness stand on Wednesday, September 13, 2023. As the witnesses mounted the stand, one by one, contradictions from one person to another continued throughout their testimony over the murder of late Shala Musu in February this year. Witness Moses was of Badnersville, a private security officer of the Genesis Security Service, who was assigned at the residence of Councilor Gloria Musu Scott in Broadway, where the murder occurred, testified that after the crime happened, he took surveillance around the house but observed no break-in. So he returned to his sanctuary of Palava House, where he remained until Councilor Scott called him and handed him keys to the residence through a bathroom window. I heard noise in the house, and as security, I went around the fence but did not see any break-ins. So I went back to the Palava hut. Later, Councilor Scott called me and gave me the keys through her bathroom window. Witness Wise narrates. His revelation to the court and before jurors contradicts prosecution's first witness, who explained that when the crime occurred, he used cutlass and cut the iron bar at the window as a means of finding a place to enter the house. But Moses continues that upon entering the house, he saw an unidentified boy toting the female victim on his back coming out of the house. And there he assisted Councilor Scott to enter her car, a statement that completely contradicts the first witness, who had told the court that upon their entry in the house, Councilor Scott was confused and saw the victim lying in a pool of blood, so they assisted by rushing her to the car. When we opened the door, I saw Councilor Scott and the others came out, but one boy was toting Shala on his back. When the defense counsel asked whether he could identify the person who was allegedly toting the victim, Moses responded that he didn't know the person, adding that he also did not know the driver who drove the car that took the victim to the hospital, but granted permission to the driver because he wore a mechanic uniform. When they came out, I saw a boy in mechanic clothes who I told to drive my bus to the hospital. I trusted him because he was a mechanic. He was in a mechanic clothes, the witness adds. At the same time, criminal court aide Judge Roosevelt Willie has ruled a motion in favor of prosecution dislodging Councilor Gloria Mususkat from the defense counsel bar, therefore denying the former Chief Justice the privilege to represent herself in the ongoing murder trial. Judge Willis was triggered by prosecution plea before the court to deny Councilor Scott from representing herself as a lawyer in the case. Prosecution argued that Councilor Scott is being tried for murder, a crime of capital offense, and as such, she cannot represent herself in court. However, Judge Whitty provided that a lawyer may represent his or herself in a case irrespective of the trial, but not when there is a legal team representing said lawyer. Indeed, one can represent oneself, and it is called you represent yourself but not along with lawyers. Once there is a team of lawyers representing you, you can sit in the dock and make contributions through your lawyers when the need arises. On this note, Councilor Gloria Musu Scott is hereby disallowed to sit in the bar. The judge rules, but the defense team accepts the ruling. Councilor Scott and the three other defendants are on trial for allegedly murdering the late Shala Musu on the night of February 22nd, 2023 at her Councilor Scott's Broadway residence in Montserrat County. Meanwhile, as per the judge order, granting the defense team approval to visit the crime scene today at the home of former Chief Justice Gloria Musu Scott in Broadway. The delegation was comprised of members of the prosecution team, sheriff and clerk of criminal court A, police escort, and media professionals. This visit enabled all members of the team, along with the sheriff and the court, to patrol and parade the entire compound, wherein they were able to observe three gates on the 10-feet perimeter fence and observe the trees and neighborhood fence are conjoined. The prosecution team and the defense team observed there were several doors and windows at the residence and took copious notes, since the judge of the criminal court preferred serious restriction on camera photography and videotaping. The trial is expected to resume today, Friday, September 15. The trial is expected to resume today, Friday, September 15. This is how we move over to the front page Africa newspaper. But before we move to the front page Africa newspaper, just notify my viewers we have Conti Zanga watching. We have Sam B. Flood Conan who is watching. Lively Ernest Lincoln is watching. Abu B. Jallo is watching as well. So we now resume with the front page Africa newspaper. Don Bosco demands release of 63 prisoners. Don Bosco demands release of 63 prisoners. For more than 2 years, 63 young men have been locked up in the Central Prison in Monrovia without ever being served with an indictment. This deprives them of the right to defend themselves in court. Brother Lothar Wagner, a Catholic religious from Don Bosco, is now demanding their immediate release. It is difficult to see these young men being robbed of their future, said the social worker who works daily as a chaplain in a prison since 2016. Many are disillusional, depressed, and simply dejected. The families of the prisoner are also at the end. They have lost trust in the rule of law. Criminal Code D of the 282 in custody, only three have received an indictment. Brother Luther points out a scandalous situation. The vast majority of the inmates in prison are deprived of the rights of legal defense. He gives as an example the situation at Criminal Code D, First Judicial Circuit Court of Monterey County. Code D has jurisdiction over the crimes of armed robbery. As of today, there are 282 inmates in Monrovia Central Prison whose case is handled by Code D. Only three of these 282 inmates have received an indictment from the Public Prosecutor Office. Of the of the 279 without charge, 63 have been in prison for more than 2 years. Sadly, 8 of these inmates are serving 5 or more years in prison already without an indictment. Consequently, they don't get a chance to defend themselves because, in the absence of an indictment, they don't know exactly what they are being accused of. None of these inmates have legal assistance because they are either not financially able to provide so, or they do not have access to a mandatory public defender. The grievance has been pointed out for more than a year. That is the message from Don Bosco. Don Bosco demands release of 63 prisoners, stating their various reasons why. American arrested after reportedly attempting to slit girlfriend's throat with knife. An American arrested after reportedly attempting to slit girlfriend's throat with knife. The news in details. An American, Lucas Richards, has been arrested on suspicion of attempting to slit the throat of his girlfriend, Jessica Lloyd. The incident occurred in Caldwell, Bushwell, Ireland. The victim, who is in a critical condition in hospital, was reportedly rescued by a motorcyclist after being stabbed in her neck. Richards, however, denied the allegation, saying Jessica was hit by a moving vehicle after she disembarked from my vehicle. While trying to rescue her, I was attacked by angry motorcyclists who accused me of attempting to kill her. According to Jessica's mom, Cynthia Lord. The incident happened weeks after she had gotten pregnant for Richard, who reportedly destroyed her pregnancy by injecting her daughter. Rachel Church, Creekside Church, offered this message on its Facebook page saying, "Please pray for Creekside supported ministries Lucas and Lois Richard. Lucas was attacked and robbed in Liberia today. His phone and money was stolen and their vehicle damaged. We'll add more details as we learn." This is a tough story on the front page African newspaper. There's a need for more investigation and there's a need for us to pray as Liberians. Things are getting heads scattered religiously and there's a need for us to pray and put ourselves together. Young people, this is a call for us to be really, 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 really careful in who we talk to, in who we meet up with, because you might not know. The last time to experience anything can be the worst. So you have to be careful as a young person. And we are in sympathy with Jessica, hoping that she can get better soon to better narrate her own story that will never be forgotten. So these cards sometimes serve a mark that will never be forgotten or forgiven. So we are in prayers with you, Jessica, whatever you are going through, and hoping that the government can investigate this particular issue quickly so that we, the young people, can have peace of mind and know the next way about. This is how we take a short break, folks. Thanks for staying with me. I'll be right back with the Hot Pepper newspaper in our international news. Please stay with me, please. I'll be right back.
Hello there, my name is K. Lyndon Toba. I'm in search of a platform where I can get credible information of our daily happenings in Liberia and the world at large.
Hello, Gilly Nontopa. My name is Perfina Korishpa. Haven't you heard about Focal Online TV?
You say Focal Online TV?
Focal Online TV is located within a Topo village community along the Japanese highway.
Tell me more about the platform.
This platform, called Focal Online TV Daily Edition of Inside the Print Media, does not encourage any form of dialogue between the viewers and the presenters.
Oh, you mean nobody calling there?
No, you can't call on a show. Let me talking out like when we're no calling there. So all you can do is you will listen to the news, and they can also encourage you to buy the newspaper to listen to the news in details.
But do you do viewer recognition at times?
Oh yes, we do viewer recognition. When you are watching, we notify you, and sometimes we even appreciate you on a show, telling you thank you for always following us. We also encourage you to share the live stream, because the more you share the live stream, we transform and we transition ourselves as a broadcast team as well.
Wow. So when can I better get this program you are talking about?
This program is aired every Monday to Friday at 10 a.m. to 10:45. The program runs for 45 minutes.
Wow.
And guess what?
Wow.
We bring you hot stories of our trending situation.
Here on Focal Online TV. Remember, Focal Online TV is located within a Tobo Village community along the Japanese highway. Our offices are open, and all of these various talk shows are open for partnership or sponsorship. We encourage you to kindly make use of our business IDs and come closer to us as we bring innovation to broadcasting right to you. So let's continue with our news reading here. We will start again from the Hot Pepper newspaper. So we have an interesting topic under the Hot Pepper newspaper, and it reads: In RIH drug importation saga, Ria's chief of protocol suffers character assassination as manifest display shows Finda Bondo, not Finda Bondo. So this is how we dive into this news reading very quickly and eloquently. On its Wednesday broadcast, the Spoon Talk published a document they believe to be the manifest of the airline that brought on board the illicit drug, methamphetamine on flight number KQ508 on August 31, 2023, with the name Finabondo as the consignee of a shipment described as personal effects. Other consignees on the list include Beer Mountain, Silson Global, Safeway Cargo, Biomedical, The Flower Pot, etc. This document has since stirred up a national embarrassment about the chief of protocol on the executive mansion being the owner of the illicit consignment linking the dangerous goods to her boss, President George M. Weah, whom many claim is fully aware of the drug importation. The allegation coupled the allegation, coupled with many other perceptions, has led to several calls for the dismissal of RIA Chief of Security and the Chief of Protocol of the Executive Mansion. Recently, the Ministry of Justice, through the Joint Security of Liberia, laid the argument to rest about whether the consignment was of moringa leaf or drugs, confirming that the consignment of boxes it intercepted containing herbal plants packaged in neutral form at the Roberts International Airport (RIA) reveals a presence of metafata- methamphetamine, an illicit drug then under the rules of United Nations Office of Drugs and Crimes (UNODC). The Minister of Justice, the Minister of Justice, Councillor Frank Musa Ding Jr., then ordered the Joint Security of Liberia as well as the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency LDEA, the Liberia National Police LNP, and the National Security Agency NSA to expand their investigation on the importation of the illegal drug to bring to justice all those involved. However, a careful observation by the public has raised the question of the validity of the airline manifest. The name of the chief of protocol is spelled Finabondo, while the actual spelling of her name is Nora Findabondo. It is being argued that it's possible that she may have left her first name out, as she is most times called Finda, but to misspell her surname is highly impossible. Nora Finabondo, according to the investigation, is the daughter of Veteran ELBC language news presenter Elijah Tamabondo, and their surname is spelled differently from the name that appears on the Spoon Talk document. Unfortunately, the document has no photograph on it indicating the actual person it refers to, but many may have pointed accusing fingers to the chief of protocol because of the popularity of her name. It could also be a propaganda machinery by the members of the opposition to get a president where, as the 2023 general and presidential election are only a few days from now. From all indications, it appears like the airline manifest is either doctored or the name refers to Finabondo and not Finabondo, the chief of protocol. So you see below the the information, and then we commence with the news reading. Airline manifest published by Spoon Talk to release parcel at the airport. The RIA requires that one present a valid identification or most often passport. And if the name of one's passport contradicts the one on the airline manifest, the goods is confiscated by the custom office. A illegal a illegal a legal luminary told the hot pepper that misspelling of the name may not be as simple as it sounds, as it causes change of identity and obstructs one from their entitlement. He recalled years back when the then Chief Justice of Supreme Court, Councillor Johnny Lewis, invited managing directors and editors and news editors to his chambers over the way his name was spelled in a number of news outlets. He requested that they take a pen and a piece of sheet spelling out his name to them. He warned that the next time any news outlet misspell his name, the outlet will face a contempt charge, and the editor of that institution sent to the Monrovia Central Prison. According to the legal practitioner, this incident was over individual misspelling a person's name and the consequences are far less than one misspelling his own name. The lawyer observed that the document published by Spoontalk is either doctored or the name does not refer to the president's chief of protocol, as it is impossible for her to misspell her own name on a document that requires her passport for authentication. I wonder if the Spoontalk panelists know how Finabondo spells her name before linking her to the document they publish. So we now move quickly to our international news and then we'll just come back to wrap things up. Gambian minds not on the game prior to AFCON qualification. Captain Omar Collins says he still cannot celebrate the Gambia's qualification for the Africa Cup of Nations AFCON given the trauma of being caught up in a Moroccan earthquake. Without a suitable stadium to host international football, the West Africans' final 2023 AFCON qualifier against Congo Brazzaville had been moved to Marrakesh. Colley and his teammates were in the city when the magnitude 6.8 earthquake struck nearby late on Friday evening. Nearly 3,000 people died. The Gambians had to play their decisive qualifier within 48 hours, coming back from 2 goals down to secure a final place with a 90th minute equalizer in a 2-2 draw. I still cannot celebrate how I would want to when we qualified because I still cannot believe what happened. The 30-year-old told BBC Sports Africa. After everything we went through, I still cannot get it out of my head when I sit down alone. Anytime I hear a noise or whatever, the sound of a car or an airplane, I feel like it's coming back. I think people sometimes forget. I think people sometimes forget that we are human beings. Just imagine having your emotions and feeling before then playing a most difficult game. Our second half displayed was to me a miracle and one of the greatest comebacks in history to African football. It was a nightmare. So there's a need for us to continue to pray for Moroccans, those who reside in Morocco, because the earthquake took away a lot of lives, and we should be grateful as Liberians that all of these things that are happening away, they are not happening within our country, Liberia. So just to dive into this conversation, we just have 1 more minute left. The issue of the Bono being an accomplice of this issue with the drug being imported into our country, and looking at the document that was posted on Spoon Talk indicated the name of Finabondo, but then her name was misspelled, and the lawyer and others would not want to agree that she was just want to misspell her name because she want to misspell her name. And then sometimes this is a need for us to, to be cautioned because there are times that you see people will spell our name wrongly, or sometimes people pronounce our name wrongly. We'll say, just leave it as it is. It's nothing. Just leave it as it is. And then we'll just talk about it like that. You see, simple things you overlook and leads you to bigger trouble. So there's a need, even if or a media institution is publishing or is publishing a news on their platform, make sure your names are spelled correctly or your name is spelled correctly. Make sure everything is correct in terms of your name because any aspect of that can lead to something else different. And sometimes you find out that people have similar names, but sometimes your middle name sets you free. So the issue with our chief of staff, chief Finda Nora Finda Bondo, is something that is gearing out. It's something that has link with this issue, and the Liberian people are saying there's a need for her to step down. There's a need for the president to put her down, along with the director of security from the RIA. So I mean, these things are really really important. It's essential that whenever you are to spell your name correctly, or people um omit certain things within your name or a certain letter, you have to correct that. Don't joke with it. And yes, unfortunately, the document has no photograph on it indicating the actual person it refers to. But the name are quite different. You have Finabondo, that is spelled Bondo, and her actual name is Nora Finabondo. So you spell her name Bundoo. But on the document that was found is Finabondo, Bondo, and her actual name is Finabondo. So yes, that is just it. This is how we wrap up, folks. Thanks for joining us today. Our live stream grew intensively. Yes, thanks so much, Conti. Thanks to you. Thanks to you, Conti. Thanks to you, Sam. Thanks to you, Larry Ernest Lincoln. Thanks to you, Abu Bichalo. Thanks to you, Abu Bichalo. Not just young people, but our young females. Marcelo, thanks to you. I'm watching Prezzo. Wow. And then Andy Bobla Chalai is just joining us, our CEO here of Focal Online TV. Thanks for joining us. The news this morning, all of the news are interesting. Get yourself a newspaper and be acquainted with all of the happenings within our country, Liberia. Or better still, join us every morning, 10 a.m. to 10:45 a.m., where we air out information relating to our country, Liberia, on the daily edition of Inside the Print Media. Sorry, this morning we can have our co-presenter due to some issues, but then you have for yourself your presenter Kirkina Encouragement, and this is how I say thank God it's Friday. And this morning topic are very much interesting. So I encourage you to get yourself a newspaper. The issue relating to the American who was arrested, and he was arrested because he was reportedly attempting to slit his girlfriend's throat, and she was saved by a motorcyclist. Young people, we really have to be careful, and we have to be careful in our decisions. We have to be careful in our outings. You see, sometimes you say these things to people, and people feel you are so perfect. It's not about you being perfect. It's about you making a right decision at the right time. So it's not. I know sometimes we want to enjoy ourselves, sometimes we want to explore, but you see these things they come along with stages in life. So you don't just do anything because you want to do it. You don't just. I know sometimes we want to flirt with people who have money. Sometimes we want to flirt with people. I mean, there's life. We can care ourselves. Better days are all gone. All of these things are things we say to ourselves, and sometimes we are not exceptional. I'm not exceptional. But what I'm saying is be careful in your decision you make, because whatever decision you make today who better speak for you out there tomorrow. Whatever decision you make today will hinder your future tomorrow. So this decision that was made, having a relationship or an affair with a clergyman or missionary, and then missionary attempting destroying pregnancy and other stuff, it's so devastating. Let me say that, and it's so downheartening. But however it is, thank God it's Friday. I love you. Thanks for watching. And I'll be back again, hopefully Monday back as well.
Hello, dear. My name is K. Lyndon Togba. I'm in search of a platform where I can get credible